Thursday night in Houston, where SGA and the reigning NBA champs, the Thunder, are still atop the Western Conference and looking for their 5th win in a row. That's a bad man right there. All right, for KD and the Rockets, this is their first time facing OKC since a 1-point double OT loss on opening night. And this is NBA pregame on Prime.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, here's a machine. A big-time highlight. That's a man's jam. Oh, he's feeling it.
Welcome on into the home of the NBA on Prime. I'm Taylor Rooks with Blake Griffin, Dwyane Wade, and Udonis Haslem. Thunder and Rockets just ahead in Game 2 of our triple header with the Knicks and Warriors later on in the nightcap. But after watching the Magic win big in Berlin, it's already been an incredible day of basketball, D-Wade.
Yes, it was. Anthony Black, 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 y'all. He made sure of it.
All right, let's take a look at the standings in the West. OKC sitting at 34-7 at the halfway point of their season. Houston won 15 of their first 20, but they have gone 8-9 since then. So let's start right there with the Rockets, as you see, have slid to 6th in the West. They remain the league leaders in offensive rebounding by a healthy margin. But, BG, you want to see more from their offensive creativity.
Yeah, they've had a lull. And, you know, when you have a guy like Kevin Durant, it's a luxury. But KD can score against any defense, but that's not the issue. The issue is when you don't have secondary actions, the defense can load up. And when defenses load up, passing lanes, driving lanes all shrink. And you're not doing yourselves any favors. So right here, you see a simple pick and roll. That wasn't really much of a pick and roll. A lot of standing around by other players ends up in almost a turnover. Same thing here. Reed Shepherd, a pin away for KD, comes down, tries to get KD the ball. Can't do it. Another screen, bad shot, turnover. So I just see a lot of stagnant offense. I just see not enough movement from their offense. Just play ball, player movement, ball movement, and make sure you're making the game a little bit easier. A lot of times, you know, when you have a guy like KD, you sort of just say, hey, go bail us out. And that's not fair for KD. You know, the best offenses don't rely on talent to beat coverages. They use structure to break coverages and then let talent finish the job. So I just want to see more movement from them.
A lot of these things, of course, have a bit of a trickle-down effect. We know that they unfortunately lost Fred VanVleet, suffered a torn ACL in the offseason. I spoke to him yesterday, and he did stress to me that it could really go either way, but he has not ruled out a return this season. Said the rehab process is a moving target, but it's not impossible and something that he's aiming for. How much of these problems could be fixed or at least masked if they did have Fred VanVleet on the floor?
We sat here and we talked about, is it sustainable to play point guard by committee? And it looked good early. But as I look at this team now, this is a team who shoots the 3rd most contested shots, the 7th least open shots. That's backwards. You should be shooting open shots and driving and kicking on the contested shots. This is something where I think Fred can come into play. When Amon Thompson comes off a pick and roll, they're going to go under. When Reed comes off a pick and roll, they're going to go over. Either one of those coverage, Fred VanVleet can exploit that coverage. If you go over, he can get in the paint. He's going to make the right play. If you go under, he's going to pull up and shoot the ball. So he's going to get in there. When I look at this team, this is a team who struggles to get to the 3rd and 4th option. Yes, it's easy to get the ball to KD, and sometimes it's not, but that's your first option. Sengun, the second option. But what happens when you need to get to the 3rd and 4th or maybe even 5th option? And that's why I think a guy like Fred can come into play. And also defensively. People were wondering why he got that extension. This is why he got that extension. He is also a champion, also an undrafted guy, might I say. I'm going to throw that out there. Shout out to Fred for your undrafted guard. But he is also a champion, and this is a guy who guards the ball. He guards the ball. Small, doesn't have a great wingspan, but he gets deflections. He's always in the top of the league in steals. This is a guy you really can't put a price tag on what Fred can bring to this team and what he does bring to this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's also a champion. So I was writing this down. Blake said standing around. UD, they need an organizer. They need a quarterback. They need a conductor. They need a guy who can get guys in their spots. They need a guy who can play with bigs. They got Sengun. They got Adam. Chris Paul out there.
Oh.
They need a veteran.
Wow.
They need a guy who don't need to score.
Hey.
Chris Paul out there. Just throw that out there.
That is a good throw.
Hey, give us a little
Gonna push
proposal.
that in there.
It's usually gonna catch.
These are all the things that Chris Paul do very well. I just thought I would start with
That's
that.
an interesting take, BG. Your thoughts?
I mean, they also have the bodies to make up for any defensive breakdowns, right? I think that's the biggest thing, too. When you look at guards today, right? Reed Shepherd sometimes a defensive liability. So Houston has the length. They have the rebounding, all that. So I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that at all.
That is a great call, D-Wade. Well, I ain't mad at you on that.
Hey, put him in the front office. Oh, he's already an investor in the league. All right. They, of course, will be facing the Thunder, and all wins are created equal, but some are more equal than others. After losing to the Spurs 3 times in 12 days, the OKC Thunder responded with a victory. D-Wade, after that game, they talked about playing to their identity. What identity is it that gives the Thunder the most success?
Force. Their identity is force. When they play with force on their drives, on their closeouts, in transition, when they impose their will, right? This is something that we talked about in our locker room all the time. How do you impose your will? When they impose their will, the other night when I watched the San Antonio game, they imposed their will on San Antonio. They attacked them. They made sure that the closeouts was right in their chest. They made them uncomfortable. Yes. So this team right here, when they go out there and they just play, they're good. But when they come out and they impose their will and they play with their force in all aspects of their game in their life, they're almost unbeatable. Like, everyone is rebounding. Everyone is guarding. Everyone is rotating. Everyone is doing everything, and they're not relying on 1 or 2 guys to do it.
The biggest thing that stood out to me, what you said, they play with force, is how many triggers they pull defensively. The thing about a defensive possession is you don't know how many efforts you're going to have to give. It can be 1 effort, it can be 2, it can be 10 efforts in 1 defensive possession. 51 points per game in the paint. San Antonio averaged the first 3 games. 40 in the last game. That's effort. That's pulling triggers. That's rotating. That's contesting everything. The effort, the energy stepped up, and the results were in their favor. And J-Dub got it going offensively, finally, and we've been waiting on that. He's a huge piece to what they do, not only on the offensive, but on the defensive end as well.
He had 21 points on 59% shooting in his last 3 games. But to your point, UD, we're seeing him get back in that rhythm that makes him a threat. I
mean, look at this. He gets the switch right here against Barnes. Sorry, Harrison. We got to get downhill on you, OG. Once again, we come here now. We come off the pick and roll. We don't settle. We got a young guy now. We get Harper. We get downhill. We get in the paint on a switch. And this is what he does so great, is being a two-way player, being active, using that wingspan, switching out on Wemby. We get the steal pick 6. There's no way you're catching up with that. When I look at J-Dub in his last 3 games, this is a guy who got 18 points in the paint that game, but he's got 18 points in the paint the last 3 games, all games. So he's averaging 18 points in the paint these last 3 games. That is intentional. That is not by accident. He's being very intentional, getting in the paint, creating whatever he can create. And if he can score, he'll score, and he's making the right play. I love the way he's playing right now. This is what we've been waiting.
SGA and J-Dub have scored 20 or more in the same game just 6 times this season, and OKC is 5-1 in those games. It is time now for the drive to tip-off, presented by CarMax. Last year's number 3 overall pick, Reed Shepherd, emerging as a key part of the Rockets' rotation, averaging nearly 13 points per game and knocking down over 40% of his threes. And Cason Wallace is second in the league in steals, over 2 per game. Thunder taking on the Rockets tonight in Houston. Tip-off is just ahead on Prime. Mr. Beast is back with an all-new season of Beast Games. Just so happens to be UD's favorite show. Will it be brains or brawn that wins a life-changing prize of $5 million? Watch the original series, Beast Games, Strong vs. Smart, only on Prime Video.
Ballverlust, Jaren Jackson Jr. wollte das Foul. Anthony Black fliegt an in Transition! Hei. Der Himmel wird dunkel über Berlin, denn Anthony Black kommt geflogen.
Jalen, what?
Anthony Black and the Magic put on a show in Berlin, beating the Grizzlies in the first NBA regular season game in Germany. That was the first of 9 games on the schedule today. UD still in disbelief over that dunk. Later, we will see the Knicks taking on the Warriors to close out our triple header on Prime. But let's talk some New York. Now, unfortunately, Jalen Brunson will be out with a right ankle injury, but you cannot talk Knicks without talking Josh Hart. D-Wade, he has been such a huge part of their success in ways that do and don't show up on the stat sheet.
No pun intended at all.
Don't do it.
But he's the heartbeat.
Yeah, I knew it.
You knew it. You knew it.
Baby.
He's the heartbeat, and the person that's sitting to my left, is a person that was the heartbeat of our team. You got some guys who score all the points, they get the ball, they say the best player, but you got the engine. You got the person that the team do not run well without, and that's Josh Hart. And they've shown that since he's been back. So Josh Hart, to me, is the heartbeat of this team, and it's because of the little things that he does for this team. Look right here. Just being in the gap. And this is what we talk about. Get floor burns, bro. How many floor burns can you get? And Josh Hart do not mind getting floor burns at all. You earn the respect of your team when you play that way. You earn the respect of your coaches. Right here, we know his body sometimes is put together by duct tape. But look at him. He will give up his body in open floor. And this is where he's really, really special at. This takes timing, but this really is about effort. His ability to rebound the basketball from the guard position, from the corner. You have to be crazy and psycho, because if you miss it, coach is going to be on you. But he loves that moment. He knows how to go get the ball. He knows how to put the effort in. And so Josh Hart, to me, when he's in that lineup, they're a totally different team because of the little things that may show up, but more than likely may not show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, as you see, they're third on the team in rebounds, tied for second in the NBA in loose balls recovered per game. He's led the lead in contested shots, deflections, and loose balls recovered in 2 games back from injury. He's led his team in all those categories. So definitely leading the league in hustle, for sure. All right, Knicks-Warriors coming up later on. Before that, though, we've got Amen Thompson and the Rockets taking on OKC. The countdown to tip-off continues right after this. A.J. Mitchell was a second-round pick for OKC last year, and he's having a breakout season in year 2. He's 4th on the team in scoring, over 14 points per game. And our Cassidy Hubbard caught up with him as he arrived at the arena.
Thanks, Taylor. AJ, your defense has become such a calling card on a team stacked with elite defenders. They even say that you call out plays before they happen. What's your mindset in terms of, you realizing, okay, I see the game differently this way?
I think I just learned a lot from the guys on our team, especially on the defensive end, and kind of be ahead of what the offense is thinking. So learning from guys like Alex Caruso, Lou, Queso, who are like great defenders, and learning from them has really helped me.
And you're in early conversations for 6-man of the year. When you're the first off the bench, how do you want to change the game right away?
I just try to look at what the team needs while I'm on the bench, and then just try to bring it when I get on the court. Obviously, I just want to help my team win in any way. So starting on the bench, I can see kind of what we need, and I'll try to do what we need when I get in.
And you've played basketball all over Belgium, France. You played college ball at UC Santa Barbara before coming to Oklahoma. Now, Blake Griffin, he's in our studio. He played college ball at Oklahoma before going to Southern California. My question to you is, what's a bigger transition, going from Southern California to Oklahoma or Oklahoma to Southern California?
Probably Oklahoma to Southern California. I don't know. The California life is a little different for sure. So it was definitely an adjustment for me, but it's both great places. Felt like home for me in Santa Barbara and in Oklahoma. So I love both places.
Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck.
Of course.
Blake, do you agree with that?
Yeah, the transition was a little different. The biggest thing was, you'd meet people when I first moved here, and like, where are you from? I'm like, Oklahoma. And like, oh. Do you have horses? Sure, but no. It's a city. But I always say the best part about Oklahoma City is the people. And you see how they embrace the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think that team embraces them as well. So it's a special place, always holds a special place in my heart for sure.
But did you have horses?
I rode them sometimes, You got to ride a horse.
Nice fans out there. Nice fans in OKC.
You don't got to ride a horse, do you? Did you have to ride a horse?
You don't have to, but it's fun. Come on, UD.
I'm scared of horses. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to fall.
You never been in Jamaica?
I like horses.
You never been in Jamaica and rode a horse through the water?
Oklahoma.
Hell no.
Let me tell you something about that, riding that horse.
That ain't no horse.
That's
That's a donkey, by the way.
Don't.
Them donkeys in Jamaica. Them ain't
That horse
horses.
through that water. You ever see people do that?
In other news, A.J. Mitchell and OKC meet KD and the Rockets tonight. And coming up, the pregame routine that has KD still putting up huge numbers almost 2 decades into his career.
Ain't broke, don't fix.